This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. So I see that nearly all of you have logged in to the meeting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So what I'll do is, let's say first I'll explain the important concepts, let's say for 15 or 20 minutes, right? Then I'll ask you, then we can have a conversation. In case you don't understand anything, you can ask me some questions. I'll clarify your doubts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we'll start off right now. Are you people able to view the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Right now, okay, we are going to start with web designing, right? So what is meant by web designing? Web designing is nothing but designing and programming for websites. So first we need to know what is internet. Okay, now suppose you want to shop something online. What you go to amazon.com or you go to Flipkart. You access it from your mobile or from your laptop. So let's say you browse through the site. So you select items you want to buy, you place the order, and you get it delivered to your home, right? So what exactly is Amazon and Flipkart? So they are websites, online shopping sites. Like that, there are, let's say, millions of websites around the world. Now let's say these are online shopping sites. Then let's say when you look at, let's say, okay, infosys.com, you take any software company. So every company will host their own website. So anybody who want to know any information about the company can log into, can open the website of the company. They can collect all the information. Okay, so now all these are based on, let's say, this internet. So first let us look at what is internet. Now when you say web designing, you will be designing and programming for the internet. So what is internet? Internet is an international network of computers. Now when I say international network, what I mean is when you open a website, when I say amazon.com or amazon.com, I can open the Amazon website that is being hosted in the US server. Now, when I type any address of any website on my web browser, the website may be hosted in any server anywhere in the world. But by just connecting to the internet, I'll be able to access the website and I'll be able to, let's say, browse through all the information given in that site. Now, first let us see what exactly is meant by internet. Now when you want to connect, let's say you have 3-4 computers in your company or in your home, you want to connect all those computers. So how exactly you connect? You can take a wire and then you can set up one computer as a server. You can connect all the computers through the wire, and then you will be able to see the data in any of the computers. Okay, so we call it as a local area network. Now when I say internet connects millions of computers around the world, throughout the globe. So to connect, let's say for such a wide network, let's say just by using a cable we can't do it. So we use, let's say, radio waves, satellites, then etc. Okay, now when I say internet, so when I type any website address, let's say infosys.com or let's say microsoft.com, I will type the website address. So the website is actually hosted in a server, in a web server. Okay, so the internet connects millions of web servers around the globe. So in one of the millions of web servers, let's say the website of Microsoft.com is hosted. So immediately a HTTP request will be sent from your computer to the internet server. The internet server will look up that, let's say that DNS address of that site, fetch the web page, and then it will display it on your browser. So using internet, you can connect to any computer hosted on the internet, and it may be anywhere in the globe. Fine. So when I say, let us look at how internet works. Now, when I want to browse a website, let's say Microsoft.com or let's say Apple.com, what I do is I open Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge or any of the web browser. I type the website address, let's say www.microsoft.com. So immediately what happens behind, so within, I mean, a few seconds, let's say 10 or 15 seconds, the home page, the first page of Microsoft.com gets loaded in my browser. Now let us look at what happens in between, how the web server fetches the web page. Okay, now as I told you before, whenever you, let's say you develop a website, and when they publish it on the internet, it will be stored in one of the internet servers. So I type the website address Microsoft.com. So it will immediately send a request to the DNS server. DNS stands for domain name server, right? And every server, so when you, the important thing you need to remember is that whenever you connect the computer in a network, every computer in a network will have a unique IP address. Okay, so the computer is identified in the network using the IP address. Like when you join, let's say join your college, you will be assigned a student ID, right? The student ID of every student will be unique. In the same way, the IP address of every machine in any network, it may be internet or internet anything, it will be unique. So once I type the address Microsoft.com, immediately the web, it will send a request to the DNS server to resolve the let's say the domain name to the IP address. Now I say Microsoft.com, Amazon.com. Let's say these are user-friendly names, but the computer does not understand any of these names. All the computer understands is the IP address. So you have, when I want to fetch the, let's say the home page of Microsoft.com, I need to tell the server, go to this computer with this IP address and get the home page. So, but we can't remember, IP address will consist of a set of 4 numbers. Since it is difficult for us to remember all these numbers, we let's say use a user-friendly names like Amazon.com, Infosys.com, Microsoft.com, etc. So the first, let's say your ISP server. So what I mean by ISP, ISP is for internet service provider. Let's say you take a broadband connection through Airtel. Your internet service provider will be Airtel. If I take a Geo connection, my ISP will be the Geo. So my ISP server will send a request to the DNS server to resolve the domain name into a valid IP address. So what the DNS server will do is, the moment it receives the name Microsoft.com, it will return the IP address of the server where the website Microsoft.com is located. Then it will connect to that exact server using the IP address, and then it will fetch the web page, that is we call it as a home page of, let's say, Microsoft.com, and then the web server will send it to my system. ISP's web server will fetch the web page I am requesting, and it will send it to my computer. So the browser will format the web page and display it in my laptop or desktop. So this is what happens behind the scene when you type the address of a website. And to resolve the website name to the IP address, all it takes is just 10 to 15 seconds. So within 10 to 15 seconds, the home page appears on your browser. Because beyond that, nobody will have the patience to Wait. So here your ISP server gets in touch with the DNS server, fetches the IP address, and then connects to that server and fetches your web page. And then once the web page is fetched, the browser will, let's say, format the web page, and then it will display it on your system. So this is how basically the internet works. So when I say internet, now what I mean by the term internet is that, so it will be connecting thousands of web server, millions of web servers, okay, grouped together, and every second there will be millions of requests sent by people around the globe for the pages which are hosted in the web server. Now let's say when you take flipkart.com, when you want to buy, let's say, okay, a mouse or a mouse pad, you log into flipkart.com. At the same time, the moment you are browsing flipkart.com, I mean, millions of people in India will be browsing flipkart.com. Right? Okay. So when I say web server, the web server can serve not just one user or two user. It will be, let's say, serving millions of people. Millions of requests will be handled by the web server. Okay. So when I say, let's say, the domain, I say domain name system. So let us look at what is meant by domain. So you would have looked, if you look at the address of the website, Microsoft.com, okay, and then some website will be having, let's say, this extension as org. So when I say .com, Flipkart.com, Amazon.com, the .com stands for commercial website. So when you, let's say, by looking at the term .com, extension name .com, I understand that the website belongs to a commercial organization. Okay. Then let's say, what are the other extensions we have? We have org, .org. .org means it is a non-profit organization. And then .net, BSNL.net.in. So .net means, that means it is a ISP or a network service provider. Like this, there are a lot of, let's say, top level domain names. And then the government websites will have the extension .gov. Okay, so by looking at the GOV extension, you can understand that the website belongs to a government organization. Okay, so then now to connect to the internet, what do you need exactly? You need a modem. Okay, and then you need to take a connection from the service provider like BSNL or Jio or Airtel or any of the service providers. So through the modem, okay, your computer will be connected through the Wi-Fi to the ISP's computer. Now, from your laptop or desktop, when you send a request to any website or a web page, you will be actually sending the request to your ISP server. For example, I have taken a BSNL connection. So when I type Amazon.in, my request will be sent to the BSNL server. So the BSNL server will in turn, okay, let's say contact the domain name server, DNS server, and then it will fetch the page I am requesting. Okay. So you type your URL, that is into the address bar in your browser. Your browser sends a request to the ISP server. It fetches the, let's say, the requested page, and then the browser displays the page in your system. Okay. Now when I say host servers, host server is the computer where your website will be published or the website will be, okay, I mean stored. Now, when you say Amazon.com, there will be hundreds of pages. All these pages are stored in a particular computer. We call it as a host server. So the host server job is to store the information, the web pages, and send the web pages to the users whenever a request is received. Okay. Now you will look at the term ISP, Internet Service Provider. ISP stands for. Okay. Now when you look at the domain names, so .info stands for .information. .edu, you would have seen ignow.edu. Edu stands for educational institutions, government. Okay. And then, so these are called as a primary domain names. Then you have, let's say, secondary domain. Now let's say bsnl.co.in. What is that IN? The 2-digit domain name, let's say, represents the country code here. So whenever the domain name ends with IN, it means it belongs to India. So when it ends with US, that means the domain, the website is being hosted in US. Then for Australia, you have AU. Like that, for each and every country, you have a 2-character domain name which identifies the country. Okay, then .biz, that is also a top-level domain name which refers to a business organization. Then .information, that is for general use. Right. So now let us see what is meant by a web page. So when I say a website, what is meant by a website? It is a collection of web pages. When I say web page, a web page can have image, it can have videos, it can have background music, right? Then it can have, let's say, databases, etc. Now, for the sake of, let's say, simplicity, let us take the Amazon.in or Flipkart website. Okay, so what is the purpose of, let's say, this website? That is an online e-commerce site, because it is an e-commerce online shopping site. So whenever customers want to buy any item, let's say it may be, okay, what, some electronic items, it may be groceries, it may be rice or dal or anything, or it may be dresses. So whenever they want to purchase anything, they visit the Amazon.in website. Now, when you look at the pages in the Amazon.in, okay, does it contain only the text? So when web page contains only the text, people will not be interested. People will lose interest by reading lot of amount of text. So the web page will have images. Then in the Amazon.com, when you select a product, it might also give you demonstration videos about how to use that product. Then other digital assets. Okay, fine. Some websites, they let you download even a PDF or a Word document. Now, when you go to some tutorial websites, or let's say you go to a banking website, you want to download a form 16 or something. So they would have given a download link. From that, you can download the form in the PDF format or the Word format. Okay, so now let us look at the website of Amazon.com. Amazon.in. So the moment I type Amazon.in, I see this page, right? So this is called as the home page. The home page is referred to as the land, also called as the landing page. That is the first page a user sees whenever they type the address of the website. Now, from this Amazon.in, so this is the Amazon logo, right? So it has been so when you want to purchase any item, it has been grouped under different links. So let's say all sell bestsellers. Now when I move the mouse pointer over this text, you see the mouse pointer turns into a what? A hand symbol. That means that it is a hyperlink. Okay, now I move the mouse pointer here, right? You just see the arrow. But when I move over the mouse over this new release, Prime Fashion, it turns into a hand symbol. The hand symbol indicates that it is a hyperlink. So when I click on this hyperlink, let's say I click on this mobiles. What does it mean? It takes me to the mobile, okay, page of Amazon.in. So where I can browse through the available mobiles, and then so when I click on a particular product, so when you say web page, a web page will have not only the text but also image. It can also have videos. So just imagine, well, let's say without any image, when they simply publish the price and it is Oppo A54, people will not find it interesting. So once you look at the image, so the images text make the website more appealing to the users. So you click on a particular product. I click on this Oppo A54. Then this again, how did I come to this page? I click on the back button, right? I go back. Okay, here again, I move the mouse pointer over this image. I get this hand sign. So when I click on this link, again it will take me to another page. So remember, whenever you click on a hyperlink, it will take you to another page in the same website. So this is here I get a detailed information about this mobile I have selected, Oppo A54. Okay, fine. Now, so here they are displaying the price 11,990. Okay, deal of the day. Right. Now, when I want to go back to the previous page, you can click on the back button and then the forward button. Right. Fine. So this is an online shopping or e-commerce site where, so in any website you will be having, let's say, this logo, the company logo, and then you'll be having hyperlinks, because in one home page they cannot put all the information they want. So it will be categorized into different pages, and all the link to all these pages will be provided in the home page. So by clicking on the link, you can visit the individual pages. So laptop and accessories, I click here, and then I'll be, let's say, able to look at the laptops. Okay, I click on the laptops and accessories. Fine. So here I can browse through all these categories, and if I am interested in purchasing anything, so I want to know more details about this, I can click on the gadget, and then apart from the price, I'll also know about the product details, the make, etc., and any offers, promotional offers that is available. So here you have, let's say, add to cart. This is the button. So buy now. So if I'm not interested in, let's say, buying, I can, let's say, skip and I can visit another page. Or if I'm interested, I can click on add to cart. The moment I click on add to cart button, it will be added to the shopping cart. Right? Okay. Now, okay. So tell me, have you understood all this information which I have discussed till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes,
any
ma'am.
doubts? Do you need any clarification? So till now, I assume that you have understood everything which I have explained. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the website which we have seen now, this is a e-commerce website. That is the online shopping site. Now, let us go to another website. Now, I'll go to Infosys. Infosys.com. So, you know, Infosys is a IT company, a company which provides information technology services, right? Like development and other services, right? So, when you look at this Infosys site, so what type of website it is? It is a corporate website. The website belongs to a corporate company. Now, if you compare the Amazon.in website and the website of Infosys, can you what difference we can make out? So in a corporate website, okay, so you have what the corporate website is meant for corporate customers. That is, so who will be interested in browsing the website of Infosys.com? The Infosys customer, let's say, when a company in Europe or US, when they want to develop a software for their business, they'll be approaching the companies like Infosys and Tata Consultancy Services. So here, the content is very important. So careers, knowledge institute, etc. So navigate industry services. So you can click on the services. So they can go to the services and check out all the services provided by Infosys. So the services, if they Infosys provides the services they are looking for, they'll get in touch with the Infosys, and then they'll okay, talk to them for the further developing the website and other stuff. Likewise, they'll be visiting the websites of different companies, different software companies like HCL, Tata Consultancy Services, etc. Right? So this is a corporate website, and the website we saw. Okay, then that is a online shopping site or e-commerce site. Now let us come to a news website. So can you tell me a news website? Okay, I go to msn.com. Fine. So the msn.com is a website which provides you the latest news. So people who want to know anything about the latest news, let's say they want to know about the sports, the current match, cricket match India is playing, they'll be visiting this msn.com. So here again you have hyperlinks, right? So when I say a website will be having a home page, and from the home page all the other pages will be, let's say, connected using the hyperlink. So a website will have not only text, images, hyperlinks, and in some cases videos, etc. Okay, fine. Okay, so when I say website, a website is a collection of lot of digital assets or resources. So apart from images, videos, then the background music, and then it can have PDF, then document, and some websites, let's say if you go to, let's say, like internet banking and everything. So they'll be collecting even confidential information like your login name and password, and they'll all let you know, conduct lot of transactions like money transfer, etc. Okay, now here you're seeing, let's say, this databases. So what do you mean by a database? So you know image, you know the pictures, videos, and all these things, you know, games, a PowerPoint file. So what do you mean by database? This is a very, very important component. Now we have visited amazon.com. So the moment you select a product, the price of each and every product is being displayed. So today and go and look at the mobile price. Now let's say it tells me 11,500. But tomorrow if I go and look at the same product, same mobile, will it be 11,500? No, right? So the price might increase tomorrow, or it might decrease tomorrow. So the prices will be stored in the database. All the information will be stored in the database. So the web page will fetch the current price from the database, and then it will display it on the web page. Okay. Now then we'll come to the very important point, static and dynamic pages. So what I mean by the static web page, okay, when I design a static web page, what I do is I put some text, I put some images, and I put, let's say, hyperlinks, etc. The content will be the same. The content will not change at all. So you create hyperlinks, you navigate through all the hyperlinks, the content will be with the constant, it will not change at all. The moment when the page is being created, the content will be put into the page, it will be displaying the same content. Now when I say dynamic web page, they are also called as an interactive web page. The page content will vary according to the user request or input. So what I mean by the dynamic web page, your amazon.in is a dynamic web page. So why do I say it is a dynamic web page? So bestseller topics, or let's say you say here they're giving some promotional offers. Shop automotive essentials up to 16% off. That is today they are giving this offer 60% off. Now tomorrow if you visit this amazon.in, the offer may not be available tomorrow. So this will not. So this is a dynamic website. So when I say dynamic website, the content will be changing in response to the user's requirement, or let's say the company, depending on the company's policy and what they want to display, the content will keep changing every day or even every minute. Now, when you look at the deal of the day, you would have seen in lot of web pages. So when I say deal of the day, today they may offer, let's say 50% discount on a particular product. That too maybe for only 2 hours or 3 hours. But after 3 hours, if you look at it, the offer will not be available to you. So here, when you look at this Amazon website, so pay your credit card bills on Amazon. Now I click on a particular product, automotive essentials. So now I click on this cleaning kits. So it shows me the actual price, okay, and then the deal of the day, 375 rupees. So this stain remover is available for 375 rupees, deal of the day. When you say day, that is valid only for today. So tomorrow, if you look at the price of the same, the stain remover, it will not be 375. It might be 400 or it might be 350. We don't know. Right? So that is why we call it as a dynamic web page. So where the 375 rupees is stored, it is being stored in the database. So when I select this product and click, so it fetches the 375 rupees from the database and displays. So tomorrow, when they want to remove the offer, they'll set the price of this item to 400 in the database. Now, when you look at this page tomorrow, it will display 400, not 375, right? The content of the web page will keep changing, okay, every day, or let's say, every 2 hours, okay, depending on, let's say, a lot of parameters. That is why it's called as a dynamic web page. But when I say static web page, the content will be the same. Now, for example, let's say when you're looking at some websites about Bangalore. So let's say they'll put that website for the sake of people who visit Bangalore for the first time, right? So they look at, let's say, the places to see in Bangalore. Lal Bagh, Kabban Park and all. So that is a static web page. So you look at the web page today, or 6 months from now, you look at it, the content will be the same. But for the dynamic web page, the content will keep varying every day or even a few hours. And one more example I can give you for the dynamic web page is let's say a live cricket match is going on, right? So when you go and check the cricket scores, every 5 minutes it will be updated. Now you go and look at what is the score right now. After 5 minutes, look at the same page. Will it be the same? No. So they'll keep on updating the information every 5 minutes. The web page will be reflecting the updated information. Okay. So when you look at the web page at the interval of, let's say, 2 minutes, every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, the content will keep varying. So that is called as a dynamic web page. So to develop a dynamic web page, you require databases. So why do I require a database? The current, let's say, the price or the current score or the dynamic information we look at the web page will be stored in the database. So the web server will fetch the information from the database, put it into the web page, and then packages it and it will send it to you. So the content may vary every 2 minutes or every 10 minutes or every 2 hours, depending on the web page, depending upon the purpose for which the page has been created, right? Okay. So we have looked at static web pages and dynamic web pages. Okay. Now, when you want to develop a website, okay, so do you have any idea what are all the technologies that are used to develop a website? Web technologies.
Ma'am, HTML.
Yes. HTML, then that is what we're going to learn now. Then apart from HTML, is just HTML enough to develop a web page, a website like Amazon.in? No, right? Apart from HTML, you require a lot of other, platforms and technologies. Okay. Now, the first and foremost thing you need is the HTML. HTML is where you design the pages. You specify, let's say, the content. Okay. Now, all the text which you see on a web page, okay, the images and the color, everything, they are, specified using HTML. Now, for example, when you look at Amazon.in, this is the Amazon.in logo. So, how it has been placed here, how it is done using HTML. Okay, so to create these hyperlinks, again I'll be using HTML. Okay, now to put all this content together and to display it in attractively, is HTML enough? No, I require something called as CSS. CSS stands for what? Right, using HTML, you just specify what the content, what should go into a web page. So when I want to display the topics, it will go under this heading, right? So HTML defines the content. Then the CSS tells you how the content in the HTML should be formatted. So just a minute. So HTML is used to describe the content. Okay, then how do you specify the formatting? How the content should be presented, that is described by CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So we'll be learning this also in our course. So this takes care of the presentation of the content. Then, have you heard of JavaScript? JavaScript?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is it used for? What is the purpose of JavaScript? So JavaScript adds behavior. Right? So what I mean by behavior? Now let's say I've decided to purchase this item, prepaid recharge, or let's say this product.
Excuse me, ma'am.
So I click on this all deals. Let me select a product here. Okay, 33% off, deal of the day. Right, now I've decided to purchase this item. What I need to do, I need to say add to cart. So this is what? This is a button. So this button is being created by HTML, and the color of the button and everything is styled by CSS. So the HTML, let's say, says the button should appear here. Okay, then the user clicks on the button, this functionality should be enabled. So the CSS says this button should be, there's a light yellow in color. Okay, and let's say the HTML says the text should be add to cart. The moment I click on the button, what happens? It has been added to the shopping cart. right? So how this is done? This is done by your JavaScript. So the using HTML, you can add buttons, right? You can add, let's say, static hyperlinks. Let's say you can add buttons, check boxes, radio buttons, everything. Now, when you click on a particular button, so how do you know what should happen? That is being described by your JavaScript. So the JavaScript, let's say, says the moment this button is clicked, add it to the cart and display the cart. So the JavaScript is used to add, let's say, behavior to your pages. And all this is used for client-side programming. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then for server-side programming.
Ma'am, what does client-side programming means?
Yes, I'll tell you. Now, when you people have studied a C language or C++? Have you people?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, now normally, let's say when you use an application like Google Pay, every one of you would have used Google Pay, right? GPay, right? Now you people would have used Microsoft Office, right? All of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of you
Yes,
would
ma'am.
have. So when you want to, let's say, type a letter, or let's say you want to type your resume, you want to type your resume and take a print and send it to a company. So you open Microsoft Word, you type your resume, you take a print out, okay, you send it to the company. So what is Microsoft Word? Microsoft Word is an application, word processing application developed by Microsoft, and it comes packaged with your Windows, right? So the moment you buy a new laptop and give it to somebody to install, so the Windows will be installed. They'll also install Microsoft Office, PDF Viewer, the Chrome, etc. Right? So so when you work with Microsoft Word, so you make use of the application, you create the content. Let's say you type your resume. The moment you say save, what happens? Let's say you finished typing your resume and you say file save. What happens? What happens? So you give a file name. The content you type will be saved on the disk in your computer. Right? Right? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
So here there is you have the Windows operating system, you have an application, it's a very simple. The application resides in your computer. You open the application, you work on it, you create the files, and it gets created in your computer. Okay, this is how this application works. But when you take a web application, okay, it is not as straightforward as using your Microsoft Word. So tell me, Amazon.in, where exactly it is saved? You're using that application, right? You open your Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, you type Amazon.in, okay, the web page, everything is displayed, you are getting it. Where exactly it is stored? Is it stored in your computer? No, it is not stored in your computer. It is stored in a web server. So your the web server receives your request and sends the web page to you, right? So the moment you select a product, when you say, let's say, add to cart, okay, all this interaction happens on the client side, right? So you see the Amazon.in web page in your system. Let's say I select a mobile I want to buy. I click on add to cart. Immediately it is added to the cart. All these interactions are happening in your laptop or in your mobile. So that happens on the client side. Here, who is the client? Which is the server? Client is nothing but your laptop or your desktop from where you're browsing Amazon.in. Right? So where is the web server? The web server is somewhere I mean, you don't know where exactly it is. So in India, there are thousands of and millions of web servers. In one of the web server, Amazon.in is hosted. Right. So you have selected it. You have seen all the shopping cart. Finally, when you want to make the payment, what happens? Tell me. I will, let's say, selected some 10 items. I want to place the order and buy the items in Amazon. How will you do it? How do you do it?
Click on order now.
So you, let's say you say make the payment. Then it will tell you the total amount you want to pay, right? Then what happens? You make the payment through any one of the payment gateway. You say you can pay through your credit card, debit card, internet banking, right? You use a payment method and then you make the payment. After that, what happens? Let's say I've placed an order for 10 different items. Okay, so I want all these 10 different items to be delivered to my home, right? So what happened? You have selected the items, you have placed the order. You know that, let's say after in a week's time, you will get all the things delivered at your home, right? Okay, so how is like you, there will be, I mean, millions of people in India placing their orders. How do you think Amazon.in manages all these things? See, you'll think of shopping in going to a departmental store and doing the shopping, right? Let's say you go to a departmental store, you select some 10 items, you put it into a basket, you come to the billing counter, right? Immediately you make the payment, you collect all the items and walk away. This is what happens. But in online shopping, like with e-commerce sites like Flipkart and Amazon, what you do, you select all your items, you place the order, and after that, what happens? So the moment you place an order, Amazon.in stores all your order details. So what are the information you give when you place the order? You give, Amazon knows your phone number, right? Amazon knows your email ID, right? Amazon knows the address to which the product should be delivered. And Amazon has also collected the payment from you. All these details will go into the database, which will be present in the server, right? So in the client, and what software do you have? When you work on Microsoft Word is installed in your computer, right? You open the application. But when you browse through Amazon.in, is Amazon.in application available in your computer? No. You just have the Chrome browser. Through the internet, you send a request. Amazon.com sends you the requested page. So the moment I have selected all the items, I've placed the order, where all the order details should go, it should go into a database which is there in the server. Yes or no? This is how Amazon is able to cater to, let's say, millions of people in India, right? So the moment I am shopping in Amazon, from my city, 2 lakh users will be shopping at the same time. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So 2 lakh. So from this moment, 2 lakh orders have been placed for Amazon.in. So the Amazon.in must store all these orders properly, and then it should process the order. Yes or no? Right? So where does all the details go? It is stored in the web server database, which is present in the web server. So that is what you call it as server-side programming. So the moment you click on place the order, all the details go into the Amazon server, and all your details are stored in the Amazon web server, your order details. So your Amazon will be sending you updates every day. Okay, your item will be arriving today, tomorrow, or after 2 days, after 3 days, right? You'll be able to track your orders, and then you're able to get everything delivered at your home. So certain interactions happened on the client machine. Lot of interactions take place behind the scenes. So that is why it is divided into client-side programming and server-side programming. Your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they are used on the client side, right? When I say server-side programming, so server-side programming, you will be writing PHP, right? So what is it PHP used for? You placed an order for 10 items and all the details will be taken and stored into the database. For that, I can use PHP, I can use Java, I can use C Sharp, depending on how the server, what server the website has been hosted in. I can use C Sharp, or I can, let's say, I can also use, let's say, Python, right? And then I can use any database. So for programming, I can use these languages, or I can also use for a database, I can use MySQL. This is a database. So if Amazon.in, if they have hosted their website on a server which provides Java programming and then MySQL, they'll be coding their server side with Java and MySQL, right? Or C Sharp and MySQL, etc. So for server side programming are done by software developers. You know about software developers, right? People who study BE, BTech and MTech and all that. They'll be working in the software companies, right? Like Infosys and TCS. They'll be writing programming code. They write the code for the server side programming. Whereas client side programming, designers will be using this HTML, CSS and JavaScript, right? See, when you want to construct a building, what do you do first? Tell me. You want to construct a house, new house. What do you do first?
Blueprint.
Like we
You
collect
lay out
the
the
raw
foundation.
material.
Yes. First, you go to an architect and tell the architect to prepare a blueprint. So the architect doesn't know anything about construction. Yes or no? The architect will ask you a lot of questions. Let's say how many rooms you're going to have in the house. What will be the dimension of each room, right? So let's say what direction is your site. Depending on that, he'll draw a plan, a blueprint and give it to you. The blueprint will be prepared by whom? Architect, right? The architect knows only about designing, so he'll tell you, I mean, if you have to keep the window here, the light will be so you'll have very good lighting if you keep the window here. Okay, if you keep the door here, it will be more spacious. He'll tell you about the design of the house. He'll design it and give you. But can the architect construct the building? No, right? Yes or no?
Ma'am.
No. So once the blueprint is prepared, what do? You go to a civil engineer. So the civil engineer only will be knowing the construction work can be done only by the civil engineer. So you give your blueprint to the civil engineer. You tell him, so I want to construct a house, this is the design. So he will tell you, okay, let's say what type of material you want to put. So you can, I mean, let's say what will be the, okay, what the foundation, how many feet you want to give the foundation. So what should be the portico, what material you want to use, what type of brick, what type of cement, right? Based on that, he'll give you an estimate, right? And then let's say what woodwork you want to do, teak wood or something, etc., etc., so many things. So the same way you have the web designer, the client side programming is being done by web designers, right? So server side programming is done by software developers. Right? So an architect doesn't have to know anything about the construction, right? He is not at all concerned with the construction of your building. But a civil engineer should know each and every aspect of construction, right? So the civil engineer is responsible for, I mean, building the building without any cracks and everything. So after 5 years, if there is a crack in your building, you will go and ask the civil engineer. You won't ask the architect, right? So the server-side programming will be done by the software developers who have studied about programming. I mean, people who have done BE, MCA like that. web designers, they don't have to know anything about programming. Web designers, they can be what? They can come from any designing background. So if they have know about, let's say, the colors, okay, the color schemes, okay, and then the overall look and feel, if they know, they can design the website. Clear? Is this clear to everyone? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
miss.
Okay, fine. So you have, let's say, the client side programming. We'll be learning about HTML and CSS, what goes on in the client side, right? Okay, fine. So is it clear what is meant by the static web page? Dynamic static web page can be created by designers. You don't require programming. But dynamic websites and pages must be, they're created by developers. Clear? So all of you will be knowing about what is HTML, hypertext markup language. Okay, so what do you mean by the term hypertext? So hypertext means normal plain text, the text which you type in Notepad. Then markup language means the text marked up with a special tags or predefined markers for the purpose of formatting, right? Okay, right. So HTML is just a language that describes web page. That is, that describes what content should go into a web page. Okay, HTML is a markup language and it is written by a set of something called as a markup tags. So we'll be learning about all these tags one by one in the coming classes. Okay, so HTML documents contain HTML tags and plain text. You would have worked with Microsoft Word, right? Microsoft Word, what you do, you type the content. And then when you want to apply the color, when you want to apply the styles like bold, italic, how do you do? Microsoft Word provides you, okay, the buttons and options to do the same, right? In the same way, in my web page, when I want, let's say, some text to be underlined, some text to be displayed in bold letters, I have the HTML tags to take care of. For HTML provides me a set of markup codes to do all this stuff, right? Okay, so when you say HTML tag, you have tag name, content, etc. Right? So you have the opening tag, closing tag. Now, when the moment I say HTML tag, it is written between these two angular brackets, right? So now, for example, let's say when I want to give a title, so I say title, hello, and then say slash title. So this is the opening tag and then the closing tag. Okay, lot of HTML tag we'll be learning now. When you look at the basic HTML tag, okay, so when you start writing the HTML code, you let's say write this HTML. Now when you look at it, the HTML is written between angular brackets. A tag should always be written inside the angular bracket. Then the HTML is divided into the header section and body section. In the header section, you'll be giving the title and the CSS code. And in the body section, you specify what should be displayed on the web page. So whatever you give in the head section will not be visible to the user. When you want to write a JavaScript code, you write it under the head section. And whatever you put it in the body section will be visible on the web page, right? Okay. Now let us see how to create a simple HTML page. So to start writing the HTML program, what I need to do? I need to give HTML, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So the tag must be enclosed between angular brackets, right? HTML. Then I give the head tag. So you can also give the closing HTML tag. So this is called as the opening HTML tag. This is the closing HTML tag, right? So the closing tag will be same as the opening tag preceded by a forward slash. Okay, so the HTML, this indicates the beginning of your program. This means this is the end. Then after giving the slash HTML, you're not supposed to write anything after this, right? Okay, then you have the head section. I give the title for the web page. Then I close the head. Body section. Fine. So HTML can be written using your notepad, and you can also have dedicated HTML editors like Dreamweaver, Visual Studio, etc. But we'll be using just the notepad to write the HTML code, right? Okay. Then after that, I need to save it. So I go to File, Save. Save it in the desktop. So save as type. So normally when you save anything in the notepad, what extension notepad gives to the file? What extension is given by the notepad? Tell me.
.txt.
.html.
Now by default, notepad gives the extension .txt. Now my HTML file must have the extension HTML. So I say all files. Now I say first .html. So if I don't give the HTML extension, notepad will put .txt, but I can't view it in my browser, right? Okay, first .html, I've saved it. Okay, now I'll go to the desktop. So by default, it opens in Google Chrome. So I've saved it in the desktop, first.html. Now, see, I've given the title as hi, right? Where the title appears in the title bar of the browser. Okay, fine. Then whatever I've given in the body section will appear in your web page, right?
Ma'am, can you please explain this again?
What do you want? You want me to write it once again?
Ma'am, can you once more?
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
What are the timings of this class?
What are the timings?
Time.
Okay. Today we'll wind up around 7:30. So from next class onwards, it will be from 6 to 8 o'clock. 6 to 8 p.m. from tomorrow onwards. People don't have any problems with that, right?
Because it was mentioned to us that it's from 6 to 7.
6 to 7. But I've been told because you have a very vast syllabus. So they've said, 30 hours, 15 days to me.
Okay, thank you, Mom.
Okay. So you people don't have any problems, right, in attending from 6 to 8?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, Mom.
Now I open Notepad, right? Fine. So open your Notepad, type your HTML program. Only while saving, you have to be careful, right? So while saving, here save as type text document. Don't type it as, save it as a text document. Come to all files and save it with extension HTML. So the moment you save it with the HTML extension, your file will be displayed with this Chrome icon, right? Okay. So here your HTML program begins with a HTML tag, ends with the closing HTML tag, right? Then you have the head section and then the body section. So in the head section, whatever you type will not be displayed on the web page, right? Anything you put it on the body section will only be displayed in the web page. Okay, so I've given the title as first web page. You see it appears in the title bar of the browser. Okay, in the body I've given this message, Mount Carmel students, welcome to my class. Okay, so this appears on the as a content in your web page. So if you want to display any text, you want to display an image, or you want to display, let's say, any other content, you have to give it in the body section. When I want to add a hyperlink, right? I want to create a hyperlink and I want to link it to another web page. Everything must be written within your body tag, right? Okay. Can you people just write down this?
Yes, Mom.
Yes. Right.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt with the saving part. Like, can you please show that if you don't mind, ma'am?
Okay, fine. So when you go to save, So in the file name text box, you need to enter the file name, right? Save as type, select all files. So once you give all files, you can give your own extension name. Otherwise, Notepad will add .txt to the file you save, right? Okay, all
Yes, ma'am.
files. Now I say f.html.
All right, ma'am. Got it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, so open the f.html in the browser. Double click it, it will automatically open on the browser, right? So have you people returned this, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I want you people to try it out. So let's say if you have any doubt, you look at the screen. First, you open the notepad and all your HTML page file should be saved with the extension .html. Just double click and it will automatically open in the Google Chrome or any other browser. Right? While saving, you need to save the type as all files, not text. Right? It's not a text you have to give. Okay, so then this is the convention you need to follow. Start with HTML and then include the head and the body section. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Has everybody understood this? I hope everybody would have understood it. Right? So
Yes.
I want you to go and try this in your computer. Right? You don't need any other. See, notepad will be available in your even in your laptop. Any browser will be available. Even if the Chrome is not there, you can open it in Microsoft Edge, Opera, Safari. Any browser can understand and display the HTML, right?
Excuse me, ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
So the title, under the title code, it will be appear on the title of the web page, right?
Yes, title bar of the browser.
Okay. And what about okay? What about head? What is the function of head?
See, when a web page gets displayed on your browser, it has to let's say go through there is something called as a HTML parser. So the HTML parser will look at the metadata under the head section. In the head section, it's a very simple program. I've given only the title. You can write your JavaScript code in the head section. You can give your style sheets. Now, for example, you have added a button, right? Let's say when the user clicks the button, you want to display a message. You need to write a JavaScript code. Where do you write a JavaScript code? Only under the head section, right? So when you want to add, let's say, the styling functionality, behavior, the code must be written in the head section. So this is the one which is not visible to the end user. So in the body section, whatever you see will be visible, right? Okay, so today you people, all of you go and try this. I think it should not be very difficult for you at all, right? So with this, we'll wind up today. From tomorrow onwards, your classes will be from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right? So what I'll do is, let's say I'll be explaining each and every tag and then the program. You can copy down the programs, right? And then immediately, see, you'll have time to work, right? So today the class gets over by 8 o'clock. Before coming to the next class, will you be able to work out all the programs I give you?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So you, let's say, sit and work. In case you have any problems or doubts, I'll clarify it and then I'll start the next day's class. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So today what all we have learned, tell me from the beginning. What we learned today?
We started with how internet works and then we learned
Yes, how
about
internet.
website
Yes. So
and
how
static
internet
and
works?
dynamic pages.
Yes, how internet works, then starting and dynamic web pages, right? And the websites. Okay, so the web. So what is a website? Website is nothing but a collection of web pages. Okay, fine. Then we let's say discussed about why HTML is used, what purpose HTML is used, what purpose CSS is used, what purpose JavaScript is used. Right? We then discussed
Static
about
and dynamic.
clients. Huh?
Static and dynamic.
Static and dynamic. For dynamic web pages, you need server-side programming, right? For static web pages, client-side programming itself is enough, right? Then we, let's say, wrote a simple HTML program, right? So here you have understood the basic structure of HTML, right? The HTML program consists of a head section and the body section. So is this clear to everybody? I hope everybody has understood this today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Can
can
you?
you
Yeah,
send this PPT?
yes.
Yes.
Can you send this PPT in the group, ma'am?
No, I can't, let's say, send the PPT. What you can do is, you can take a screenshot whenever I'm explaining.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you
Okay.
show us the first few PPTs so that we can take a screenshot?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Let's go to the next slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Ma'am, will we have an exam or something?
I don't know exactly. You check it with NICT.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. We'll wind up with this today. Tomorrow we'll continue.
Oh, ma'am.
Fine. Bye. So go and have a nice
So
dinner
much,
and
ma'am.
nice sleep.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.